And the traumatic effects of these boarding schools are still being felt by their survivors. Not only by their survivors, but by their children, and really by their communities as well. And I've heard from some of those survivors that are still with us that the act of sharing, being able to tell the truth about their experiences, can help contribute to healing. But it takes courage, it takes extraordinary courage, and I've heard that. Fred John Jr., who is the son of Katie John and Fred John Sr., attended the Wrangell Institute in Alaska. He was assigned the number 77. He was not referred to as Fred John Jr. He was number 77. In 2018, he wrote that following his time at the boarding school, he still carried the pains and scars from his time at the Institute. He never talked about it until his children gave him the strength and the encouragement to do so. General Pratt, who opened the Carlisle Institute School, established what he called a, quote, rapid coercive assimilation process in these schools. And the goal there was to separate Native children from their tribes, from their language, and from their ways, so that they might never want to return home. The stated purpose of the policy at that time was to, quote, kill the Indian to save the man. Again, a dark, dark legacy. So our committee report details this history. However, to hear just some memories of how these policies were implemented really is devastating. Fred John Jr. describes seeing a group of kids arriving from Anaktuvuk Pass. This is a small Native community at the gates of the Arctic, very far into the interior of the state, very far, 1,000 miles away from the Wrangell Institute down in southeastern. But Fred John Jr. remembered the fur parkas that they were wearing. He remembered their caribou pants. These were kids who came from a part of the state where caribou was that primary food source. And he remembered how beautiful they all were. But when they came in, the school staff stripped them down, taking all their clothes, all the food, including the dried caribou, the salmon that they had been given to tide them over. The staff showered them, shaved them, and gave them a number. But the most painful in his retelling was how all of these clothes, the beautiful fur parkas, the caribou pants, all their clothes, everything, were taken and burned up in a furnace to completely wipe away their connection, not just the clothing, but to the culture. In this time period, students were punished and endured violence. Some survived and are pursuing healing, but unfortunately many others did not.